of, Dom having his son. They're right there at the bottom of that like lake, river, whatever, and that dam is breaking.
At the dam, yeah.
And what pisses me off is it ends with a cliffhanger of Dom and his son are in such danger watching this dam break and coming towards them, all this water, debris, and everything coming towards them. Instead of telling him and his son, we got to get the hell out of here. Let's try to get to the side or something like that. Let's just, like, I'm sorry, son, like we're about to die or something, realistic. What does he do? Pushes his son behind him and he gets in a fighting pose. For what? What are you going to do?
It's the Lame Guys Podcast.
All right, bro. So I saw a post on Screen Time on Twitter, and it made me want to bring this up to you. They post it has 4 different characters for this question, but I only know 3 of them, and I know you'll know them as well. So the question is, who is your most hated TV show character of all time? And they show the Governor from Walking Dead, Skyler from Breaking Bad, and Joffrey off of Breaking Bad, off of Game of Thrones.
Okay. I mean, just that is. I mean, that's an easy answer for me.
Yeah.
I just love the fact that Skyler is up there with 2 like of the most notorious villains in TV history, and Skyler's on there. She's not even a villain; she's just annoying. Like
And the first comment says, "Skyler, Jesus Christ, that woman got on my nerves."
Bro, I just remember telling you, bro, like whenever you were watching it, like, bro, she is fucking annoying, bro. She is annoying. But isn't that crazy? Like, Joffrey is one of the most notorious villains in all of TV history. The Governor, one of the most notorious villains in all of TV history. And Skylar is just there because she is annoying. That's wild. My answer for that is Joffrey. I assume that's the same for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Governor is a
That one hits
notorious
more for you
villain,
because you watched a lot more Walking Dead than
right?
I did. But I knew
Right,
the Governor.
right. He's a notorious villain, I think, but I don't think he's on Joffrey's level. I don't think he's close to it. Game of Thrones gave us 2 of the most hated villains of all time, in Joffrey and Ramsay. Ramsay
Mhm.
Bolton, that
Yep.
motherfucker too. I don't know which one I hate more. I think honestly, I think how Ramsay was acting. I think towards the end, I was starting to hate Ramsay even more. I don't know about you, if you remember.
No, yeah. Yeah, I hated
Because
Ramsey too.
I went back and rewatched them, right? And that motherfucker used to piss. Joffrey did too as well, but Joffrey killed Ned Stark, so maybe Joffrey's still number 1. I wonder if sorry, this is getting to Game of Thrones talk, but I wonder if out of the whole Game of Thrones, does Cersei have a claim to the biggest villain of that show?
That's a good one.
Because you got to think she
Yeah.
was a consistent villain throughout the whole show.
Yes, but then you also started having that like arc with her to where you were like, I still feel bad for her at times and everything like that.
Kinda, but she still was a bitch the whole time. Like, she didn't have a story arc where she kinda redeemed herself like Jamie. Like
Not
Jamie had a
necessarily
big.
redeemed herself, but like I said, you feel for her at times.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't
Look
know
at the
if I
photo
ever
they
did.
look at the photo for Joffrey boy. Because when he got poisoned.
Yeah,
Yeah, boy.
that was a bro, I was hyped, bro. I was so happy. Same for Ramsey when he died. No, yeah, the Governor's notorious, but out of those, it's got to be Joffrey for me, bro. Joffrey, I I I just think that's synonymous with all of Game of Thrones fans. If you watch Game of Thrones, and then I'd say Negan's a bigger villain than the Governor. I don't know about you. I don't know. I don't think you
So that
really
was gonna be my
watch.
next question is, um, so you obviously have the Governor, but then in the beginning for Negan, I swear, bro, people hated Negan for what he
I mean,
did.
bro, he killed Glenn. He killed Abraham.
Mhm.
Those. We were really attached to Glenn at that time. Yes, the Governor killed Herschel. He caused a lot of ruckus, but Andrea ended up dying for that. But I was more attached to Glenn and Abraham. Um, I think Negan's still a more notorious villain out of The Walking Dead than the governor.
Yeah.
So I don't know any other, and then I guess villain wise in TV shows, who's another big one?
Well, that's what I was
You
going.
can't really.
That was going to be another question. Is do you think you can add any other to the list?
I don't know. So I'm trying to think. Well, Negan, I would add him.
Was there any in
But
Peaky
then
Blinders?
Negan even has a redemption arc in The Walking Dead. I know you didn't follow it, but he turns into a good guy and he's a main character in it, and
See, and I
he
knew
redeems.
that just because
Yeah,
social media.
he redeems himself. So it's like Negan. I kind of just feel like also maybe that's why the governor's on that list and not Negan, because the governor doesn't have that good story arc. No, who's another one for you? I can't really think of any.
Well, that's
And
why.
TV shows.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I asked about Peaky Blinders because I didn't watch that, so I didn't know if that had a
Oh,
great
well,
villain in
Peaky
it.
Blinders has some good villains, but it's not really.
Notorious
I
like that.
wouldn't say any of them are notorious like that. No, Tom
TV
Hardy's in it,
show.
but he's not really a villain.
Mm,
And their villains are only one season. Like the guy who plays Luca Changretta, I think that's his name, Luca Changretta. It's like when they fight the mob. That one is a badass season, but it's only 6 episodes and it's only one season. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't see him,
Oh, okay.
so it's like I don't know if it's worthy enough to be on there.
I'm
No, I
trying
can't
to
really think of
think.
any.
Yeah, I can't
I
think
don't
of
know.
any.
I think even with us not knowing that many villains, I think Joffrey has a claim for the biggest villain of all time in TV. Oh, also Homelander, bro.
Ah, you know
Homelander.
what? That goes against everything we've said right now because we've said
Why?
in the past that Homelander is the biggest, bro.
That's
We
true.
said we've
Well, were we
he
talking about TV show though, or were we talking about
we
superhero
said
villain?
villain in general.
Yeah, that's true. I just thought about Homelander.
You
Hmm.
know what? So just forget everything we just said. Those listening or watching.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah. I
so
mean, you have a fair
someone on
point.
Twitter said, "Skyler, others are no match for how irritating and annoying that woman was on Breaking Bad."
Yeah, dude. God, I just couldn't stand her, bro. I just couldn't stand her.
It was
I don't
so
know.
funny. That's
You know who's
literally
another? You know who's another person that's so annoying to me?
who.
Not on Skylar's level, but very annoying. Monica from Yellowstone, Casey's wife.
Monica is annoying, but yeah, she's not like that.
She's not on Skylar's level, but she's very annoying to me.
Like I roll my eyes with Monica. That's just
Yeah. I just think here's this bitch again complaining, bro, about John Dutton when John Dutton can give her everything she wants and a big ass house and all this shit. Here she is complaining. That's the way I look at Monica. But yeah, you're right. I mean, we did say Homelander, so Homelander was number 1, and then I guess Joffrey too.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Joffrey, gosh, oof.
I just
Those that
wish we were there
know.
prime. Can you imagine if we were there watching at current, having to wait a week, like Joffrey do
Well,
some shit, and then you have to wait a week?
oh well, I was just about to say, well, thank God we didn't have to wait.
That's what I'm saying. Can you imagine,
Oh, you know
bro?
what's the possibilities of this one, bro? Let's fast forward. Trying to remember the release date. Let's fast forward to the end of next year. Could we possibly add Abby from The Last of Us season 2 on there?
That's a tough one for me too because she does have a redemption arc. And I just said Negan can't be on there because Negan has a redemption. Abby does too. Now, whether people want to deny it or not, she does. Like me and you accept it, right? Like me and you at
Oh
the
yeah,
end,
yeah.
me and you at the end were like, bro. I mean, we understand why she did it. And then she's still good. You see when you see her side of the story, she's still a good person. So I wouldn't add. Now, I bet you for the people that don't know the game, and if let's say season two ends that way, could you imagine the heat that Abby would have? That'd be
Insane.
crazy, bro. That would be insane. Yeah, that'd be insane. Can you imagine if they did it that way? The Walking or The Last of Us season 2, and that's the end.
I could see them doing it.
So good. Just to have Pedro the whole season.
Yeah. God, I can't wait for this season.
Yeah, that's
It's
just
gonna be
gonna be
so good.
crazy, bro. Yeah. Episode 58 of the Lame Guys podcast. I'm Mario.
I'm Vincent.
What do we got going on? I feel like it's been a quiet week, dude.
It's been a very, very, very quiet week.
We had Moana 2 come out. I haven't had a chance to see it yet, though.
Haven't watched it yet either. Obviously, the last thing we watched was Gladiator. That's the last thing we discussed.
Yeah.
Emily watched
Wicked. So did Teresa. Teresa loved it.
Yeah, Emily liked it a lot. She said shit's powerful as hell.
Yeah. I don't know how well I'd like it, to be honest. I'm not a
I'm
big
definitely
musical
gonna see it.
guy.
Who saw it? Someone at work. Who the hell saw it?
Mm.
Someone
I'm
at
not a
work
big
said they.
musical guy.
Someone at work said they watched it and then they were like, they weren't into it in the beginning. Oh no, I lie. It was my uncle, but I'm tripping. It wasn't
Oh,
anyone
really?
at work. It was my uncle. He said he went to go watch it or whatever because he drags my Thea over to Marvel movies all the time. So he went to go watch it just to be like, okay, fine, we'll go do what you want
Right,
to do.
right.
Obviously, he was annoyed because it is a musical, but then he started actually paying attention to the story and started like actually like watching. And he said after he left, and he was like, "That was really good."
Mm. Mm.
So I think I'm end up liking it.
Yeah. Are you gonna go see it?
Yeah, yeah, I'm end up watching it. And then I still need to make time to watch that, and I need to make time to watch Moana too.
Yeah, same. I do want to see Moana too.
Yeah, yeah,
Hopefully, we can watch that between now and next week. Maybe we can review it.
I'd be down. Speaking on Moana 2, it's doing great. Box office wise, it's absolutely doing great. Moana 2 earned a massive 57.5 million on its opening day domestically. Sets or set to earn the biggest Thanksgiving weekend release of all time. Um, let's see, and it is also the third biggest opening day ever for an animated film. That's
Wow. I didn't
huge.
know it was doing that well. I didn't
It
even know it was
is
doing that well.
huge, and for its,
That
I
is huge.
guess, mid reviews that we've been seeing, that we've been sending each other, that's still big. Even though critics-wise, they've been saying that, that's not as good as the first, it's not as good, it's also that audience reviews that matter too. So the general audience, they're not gonna care as far as, you know, the small critiques of editing, the storylines, and this is like they're not gonna care about that. Is this a
Yeah.
good little family film that can, take their they
Entertain
can
my
take their kid
kids.
that and is this rewatchable? Am I gonna go when Disney Plus releases this, am I gonna show my kids over and over and over? There's a reason why the first Moana was the biggest film in 2023 on streaming. It was the number one streamed movie out of all streaming platforms. Moana was the biggest, and it's crazy because it released 8 years prior, or
Mhm.
yeah, 8 years prior, and it's still that big.
Yeah.
Moana is
Uh,
such a hit.
I didn't know it was doing that well, but I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, I mean, like you said, bro, it's a Disney animated movie that did tremendously well the first time. Um, and you got to think now, those kids that watched it when it first came out are older now. They're gonna go watch it, and then parents are gonna take let's say they have siblings and they're younger, and then they're gonna take them, and yeah, it's just a never ending cycle. And uh, I just feel like I was surprised to see the sequel, but I wasn't because it was about time. Like I was surprised it took them that long to make a sequel because the
Mhm.
first one did so well. And then yeah, I mean, bro, I'm a lot of those streams in 2023. I mean, Jaden, she loved Moana for a time, so we were watching it every single day.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I agree. The biggest things I've seen is I think it was supposed to be a Disney Plus TV show, and then they ended up scrapping that and made it a movie. And some people said it feels like a TV show. It feels like a Disney Plus TV show. But you're right. A lot of the audience that's going to watch that movie doesn't give a fuck. They don't care. Like they just want to entertain their kid for those 2 hours or whatever it is. Have their kids come back singing songs, and they're not looking at the plot. They're not looking at how it's filmed or whatever. So yeah, good for it. I mean, it's glad I want to see it just because I've already seen the first one so many times. So
What's funny is I mean, I've I know I told you this before, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned on here when we talked about Moana in the past. Me and Emily took my siblings to go see the movie when it first came out. I was more excited to watch it than any of them. Why? I don't know why. I mean, I think the next topic of being Lilo and Stitch, I love that movie. So the whole like Hawaiian aspect or Polynesian aspect, all that type of stuff, I really loved. And the story from the trailers looked interesting, and then I love the animation, like the whole like water aspect. It looked fantastic. Come to find
yeah,
out, it was an amazing movie. I absolutely loved it. So yeah, so when they announced they were doing the second one, I was over the moon about it. And then we started getting the first looks, the first trailers, everything was coming out, and I've been along for the ride ever since. We've talked about it multiple times on here. Yeah, I'm ready for us to watch this movie.
yeah. I'd never watched it till I had Jaden.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, but you're bigger on Disney movies than I am, dude. You're bigger
That's
on
true.
animated movies. Like I don't go see um animated movies. I mean, obviously now I will. I have a kid and stuff like that, but on my own time, I was not going.
That's true. That's very
So
true as well.
like I don't even remember when it came out, to be honest with you.
2018? No, 2017.
That sounds about right around that
One of
time.
those. Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, I'm excited to see the second one.
Yeah, same. But as I mentioned, let's move on to this one. As I mentioned, bro, we what you call it? Me loving Moana also stemmed from me absolutely loving Lilo and Stitch. We got news of obviously the live action Lilo and Stitch. We got our first look at Stitch. We got our first little teaser that just came out, and we got our first official poster for Lilo and Stitch. And it's, I don't know if you've seen it. It's Stitch with the little coconut from Moana inside
Yeah,
his
yeah.
mouth, and it says, only in theaters May 23rd. I absolutely love the poster. I can't wait for this movie to come out. I mean, it could be a shot for shot remake of Lilo and Stitch, the animated movie, into the live action, and I will 100% be okay with it because I really
Yeah.
love Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
But did you see the poster? And what do you think of it?
I did, and I saw the little trailer. I'm curious how you think it's gonna do box office wise.
I
Because I feel like
think
it's in a weird spot where it's old enough that obviously our generation will probably go see it.
yes.
But other than that, I mean, no one really know. I mean, I'm sure there are kids that have seen Lilo and Stitch because their parents probably showed them Lilo and Stitch. But like, I'm sure it's in a weird spot. I feel where it's like a lot of people probably won't because they don't know. Um, so I'm genuinely curious how it's gonna do box office wise.
Okay, so I have two trains of thought. So initially I say it's going to do fine. It's really going to do fine because of what you said. Our generation grew up with Lilo and Stitch, so we're going to go out and watch this movie. A
Yeah,
lot of us now have kids. Me and you, for prime example, we have kids. We're going to go take those, take our kids one day to see these type of movies that come out, that have nostalgia, feel to it. Obviously, we're not taking the girls right now for this one because, no. Um, but I don't know, bro. Stitch is such a big IP alone, and the character for Stitch is so big with Disney. They still make Stitch merchandise to this day. My little sister has a Stitch shrine inside her room because she was a
but
baby.
she's older. She's older.
But what I'm saying is that character still like to where she's able to always buy new Stitch stuff because that
Yeah.
character is never going to go away when it comes to Disney
I
merchandise.
guess what I'm
Disney's
trying to say
always
though
going
is
to make this type of stuff. So these kids will always know. And so when they're seeing this, they're going to be like, "Oh, I want to go see that."
yeah. But your sister's not a kid anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like she's about to go to
Yeah.
college. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, yes, I think us, the people a little bit younger than us are going to go see it. Um, I'm just curious how it's going to hold up little kid wise. Cuz
Mhm.
that's the target audience, right? Like
Yeah.
it's for little kids. Um, so I don't know how appealing it is for them to go see it, especially since it's live action. I'm just genuinely curious. I think either way, it's going to do just fine. It's probably going to make money because our generations a little bit below us are going to They're going to carry it essentially. Like they're going to
Yeah.
carry it box office wise. I'm curious how it's going to do with the new generation that has no idea about Lilo and Stitch, has no. I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't. I get it. They make merch, and your sister has a shrine, and your sister wears shirts, whatever. But your sister's about to go to college. You get what I'm saying? Like it's still an older audience. So I'm just continually curious how it's going to be with little kids because I don't hear any little kids talk about Lilo and Stitch.
Mm,
Not that I
this
hang
will
out
be
with
there.
fucking little kids all the time.
I didn't want to bring up. Not like we'd be having little conversations with kids,
I'm
bro.
just saying, like I'm just saying, like
No, I get what you mean. Is that
you
you
get what
don't
I
really.
mean. Like I see Bluey all the time, right? Like I see kids have Bluey shit. I see kids have I don't know what other shows are, but I never see Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, and
I'm
this
not
can be
being
their gate.
negative.
This can be their no. This could be their gateway as well to it.
Yeah, that's true. I'm
This
just
can be their
genuinely
big
curious how
gateway
it's
point.
gonna do. Like, I don't think it's gonna compete with Moana, right? Like, Moana, I think is gonna do tremendously better, just because Moana, like you said, it had that Polynesian vibe. But that's little kids' Polynesian shit is Moana, where we got Lilo and Stitch in
Yeah,
Hawaii.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember those days, bro. The sister, bro. When I was younger, even though she was animated, bro, I had the biggest crush on her, bro.
Oh, Nani. Yeah,
Yep.
whatever her name.
Yeah, yeah,
No, yeah, bro. Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
I
Who's
agree.
playing her? Have they said?
The older sister.
Nani. Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't even know that one.
I'm about to look it up.
I'm about to
Lilo.
say I know they cast Lilo, and I feel like I've sent you that. They have, yeah, they casted her forever ago, but then she's been on the red carpet for Moana. Bro, she's a cute little girl, bro. I mean, I just look at her and I go, yeah, bro, you're a little Lilo.
Oh yeah, I see it here. Let's see here.
Lilo,
Wow, yeah, she is a little cute little girl.
Lilo and Stitch, boy. Yes, sir.
Chris Sanders as Stitch.
Uh,
Sydney
Sydney E.
Agudong. Agudong. Hopefully, I'm not mispronouncing that. She's gonna play Nani. I've never seen her.
She's 24.
Not
She's a
bad.
actress, singer, professional songwriter. Good for her.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm excited for it. I'm just genuinely curious how it's gonna do, like from a younger audience standpoint.
No, it's a valid question. Yeah, it is a valid question. You're right. I mean, our generation and a little bit younger than us are going to carry this film. But I mean, at the same
Yeah.
time, it's a family movie, bro. That's just going to do fine.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Now, shatter box office records the way Moana is, probably not
No.
just because it's Moana's still a fresher IP.
Yeah. Yep. And I think Toy Story is a bigger IP as well. So it's like when those movies come out, they still do very well with the younger audience.
Yes. Do you
I
think it has
feel.
something to do with because it's still animation compared to live action?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I think that plays a big part too. Live action. That's another reason why I'm genuinely curious how it's gonna do because it's live action, especially. Let's say they make a Lilo and Stitch animated one. I mean, that automatically opens the door for a bigger audience just because it's animated. I feel at least.
Let's see. I am curious.
I tried to get
Curious,
Jaden to watch Lilo and Stitch. She hasn't got into it.
really. So I'm curious. The um. So I'm guessing these are all domestic numbers.
Hmm.
Because I was going to say, I wonder what the number is for like, because obviously Disney has made live action films plenty of times already when it comes to their animated stuff. So The Lion King, even though I mean it's a gray area, it's not a live action, but it is live action, but it's not because it's still all CGI. It's a lot. So Lion King made $1 billion. That's an older IP. Beauty and the Beast made $1 billion. That's an older IP. Jungle Book, it made 966.
Wow.
Aladdin made $1 billion. Uh, Alice in Wonderland. I guess I always forget about that one. That one made $1 billion. Wow. Maleficent.
Yeah. I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because ultimately it's up to the parent that's taking the kid,
Yeah.
right? So I guess at the end of the day, you just got to market enough to where you can get get a parent to be like, I would take my kid to see this movie. And then yeah, so I guess ultimately it doesn't really matter how the kid feels about it.
It's going to be the parent that takes them, that introduces them, and then
Right.
once they get introduced, and they'll from there be like, I want to go see that again, or I want to watch more, and
Right.
then they'll deep dive. I'll tell you
Yep.
one thing though. One thing that's going to hit is on Disney Plus, that Lilo and Stitch TV show and the movie and all whatever.
Mhm.
All those are going to go up.
Yep.
You
Yep.
want to move on, brother?
Another thing that's pissing me off, I don't know if you ran into this, bro. Disney Plus is on that same fucking no sharing bullshit. So I can't even watch Disney Plus at my parents' house or Teresa's parents' house anymore. It's got to be at my house. That's it.
Did y'all have y'all's accounts on there prior?
Yeah. So like I pay for Disney Plus, and then my family uses it. Teresa's family used it, and now they're doing that same thing that Netflix does, where it's they track your IP and they don't want
Yeah,
people
yeah.
sharing subscriptions. And so at first they brought it up, but then you could like use a one-time code because you're traveling, or you could use and now you can't even do that anymore.
So as of right now, cross our fingers. Um, we're okay because uh, Jason is the one that pays for Disney Plus, and since this is the primary place that he uses for it, so we're good. Obviously, like that. So like
Yeah.
other people are signed into the account, so I don't know if it affects them, but we're okay. And for my
Well, you're
parents,
the main location, right?
yeah, yeah. So we're the main location. So for my
Yeah.
parents, when we did have the Disney Plus account, they signed into ours, and then I think whenever that thing first started, they got logged out, or we couldn't remember the password, whatever it was. So they wanted to watch whatever show or movie was out. They ended up just getting the subscription themselves. So
Yep. Well, now yeah, my if we want to watch Disney Plus at my parents, then my parents will have to get a subscription.
damn.
And I just
Or
think, bro, that's so annoying because it's just for little kids.
or bust out that VHS tape and put in that VCR, bro. All the VHS you got in your parents'
Yeah.
garage.
I
Show
don't even know
show
if I
Jaden
have
the
a
tech.
TV that would use it, honestly.
That's true.
I don't even know where my VCR is. I have the VHSs, but I don't even know where the VCR is, bro.
Probably in your parents' garage, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck it, we can go thrift shopping and go find one.
You gonna move on?
Yeah, bro. Let's move on from all Disney fun times to some good old street racing, bro. We got some brand new stuff from Fast and Furious franchise. I saw something, bro. I think they started filming on the newest film. They started production on it. They started filming. They are on locations and everything like that. But along with that, it says from discussing films, Vin Diesel says he wants to take the Fast and Furious franchise back to the real street racing and practical stunts, as well as reunite with Dwayne Johnson. How do you feel about that?
um, I feel like I've said it time and time again. I'm at a point now where it's like I'm too invested, right? Like I've seen them all. It's like
Yeah.
if one, it could be about anything, and I'm gonna go watch it, right? Like, so is that cool that they want to bring it back to a street level type shit? Yeah, that's cool. But also it's kind of like, how can I see you lose now when you motherfuckers flew a car in space, right? Like, how can I see you just lose a normal street race? Um, I feel like they should be able to make a car that's fast enough to win every single street race at this point. These motherfuckers went to space.
Yeah.
Dominic Toretto has jumped over a cliff and hooked himself up to a bridge to lasso him around to the other cliff. Like I mean, that's cool. I mean, I guess like I'm fine with it if they go back to street level, but it's also like I feel like you've done too much. Like, how can I just now? It's like, okay, I don't want to just go and see car street racing. Like, I want to see some wild ass shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've gotten that for what 6 movies in a row now.
Yes.
Really, since Fast
Uh,
Five. Fast Five was more grounded, but you still saw some crazy ass shit. Like the car went off the bridge and they literally cliff jumped and technically probably could have died. But they jumped off that high ass mountain, into the water. You know what I'm talking about
oh,
in Fast
yes, yes,
Five?
yes, yes, yes. I was trying to remember what scene
Bro,
that was,
that
but no,
was
yes.
that was ridiculously high. That was
Yeah.
ridiculous. If they hit that water, they're more than likely breaking bone. Like, you know, and that's where it started. It just went up and up and up and up from there. Cool. I mean, I guess like as long as The Rock comes back, and it could be about anything. Like I said, I'm just too invested. Like I'm gonna see it.
Yes, I completely agree. We're already along for this ride. Um, you too invested. I have to see how this all ends.
Yeah,
I
like
know I know it's getting ridiculous. I know that me and you weren't the biggest fan of Fast 9. Um, like I've been able to just I know what I'm getting myself into when it comes to these fast movies now at this point. Fast 5, I mean, yes, even though it was ridiculous, there was some sense of like I I could see this happening. I
yeah,
guess I could see this happening, and then after that, no, nothing makes sense at that point. Fast 9, I think, was definitely, like, the final straw for me, and then they kinda redeemed themselves when it came to Fast 10, but then even with that ending, it really pissed me off. I remember literally telling you, for those who haven't watched it, it's been out for a long time, but, I mean, the ending of, Dom having his son, they're right there at the bottom of that, like, lake, river, whatever, and that dam is breaking,
at the dam, yeah.
and what pisses me off is it ends with a cliffhanger of Dom and his son are in such danger watching this dam break and coming towards them, all this water, debris, and everything coming towards them. Instead of telling him and his son, we got to get the hell out of here. Let's try to get to the side or something like that. Let's just, like, I'm sorry, son, like we're about to die or something, realistic. What does he do? Pushes his son behind him and he gets in a fighting post. For what? What are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do in this situation? It doesn't
Yeah,
make sense.
I don't know. Well, that's where it's like, okay, Dom, or it's okay, Vin Diesel. Like, I think he sees the critiques, and now he's like, let's bring it back a notch. But it's like, at this point, for what? I've seen you do so much crazy shit, bro. It's like, why at this point? Like, just keep topping it at this point. Like, people are still showing up to watch it. Yes, I'm sure the numbers for Fast 10 probably weren't as good as usual. But at this point, it's like, I don't want to see you just go race cars in LA in the streets again. Like, like I've seen so much more. Like, so I don't know. Will I go see it either way? Yes, but I just kind of feel like he's probably trying to save face a little, and he sees the negative, and that's why he wants to bring it back. But I just don't think it'll ever hit the same like it did back in the old days. Like, you just can't go back to those type of movies.
So Fast 9 made 729 million worldwide and Fast 10 made 704. Still made a
That's
lot of money.
solid. That's still
Still
solid,
made a
yeah.
lot of money. I mean,
And so that's why
considering
it's like
that Fast 8, I think did I wanna say it did a billion?
I thought it did.
Fate of the Furious, yeah, yeah, 1.2.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
I just
they're
feel like
looking for those
it's
numbers every single time.
right, and I think that to them, 700 is a dip, and
Yeah,
it
it's
is,
definitely a
like,
dip.
it is mathematically, it is a dip, but, and I think they're like, "Okay, how can we get people back in the movies to watch it?" Either way, I'm gonna show up either way, but I don't think it really matters. I think Vin at this point is like, "Bro, just finish the shit up." Like, it is what it is. I wonder how many movies they're gonna make more.
This one they're filming, I think, is supposedly the last, like, it's done. And I know
I
they've
hope
said
so.
in the past, but I think this is really, like, the one where they said they had this dream and this is it. It's done with this one. Because I even think the studio is basically saying, "Brad, like, let's go."
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Either way, I'm gonna be there. This has been a legendary franchise, and the people can say what they want about how cringy it is, but no one can deny, bro, the numbers that this franchise has done, the legacy that this franchise has built. Like this is gonna be a franchise that people talk about years and years to come. It'll always be one of those bro, the Fast and the Furious movies, bro, legendary. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't take away the fact also that they're fucking cringy now.
And it gave us one of the cleanest characters, bruh, Brian O'Connor.
Yep. Yeah.
Brian
To me, they should
O'Connor.
have ended it there, dude. It was perfect.
Fast 7?
Yeah, it was perfect. The way they had that write off at the end, and they did that. Should have ended it there.
Okay, so this is just a personal opinion question. Do you think they were truly trying to honor Paul Walker's legacy by continuing, or do you think they were, like, being a little selfish and thinking, "Bro, we need this money to still come in, like, we gotta do something."
I think I think both of those are true. I think the studio is like, just because he died doesn't mean this should have to stay in. That's why we didn't kill him. Like that's why,
Mm,
that's why they don't kill him in the movies. That they want people to, he got that good send off. We gave him a good send off. We're good to continue. So there's that part. But then I also just think, we don't know Paul Walker. We didn't know Paul Walker, but maybe he would have wanted the franchise to go as well. Like maybe he wouldn't have wanted it to stop just because he passed. I don't know. There's a bunch of train of thoughts. I think, yeah, it's just ultimately it doesn't matter, bro. It makes too much money to stop it. So it is
most
what it
definitely.
is.
I mean, we kinda mentioned some stuff in here, but I was gonna originally ask you, are there any scenes in Fast and Furious, all the every single movie, basically anything after 5 that stood out to you that you thought, "This is the dumbest thing ever." They've had a lot of great moments, but, like, is there stuff where, like, you really thought, like,
The
"Come on,
space
bro."
one, the space one
Mhm.
was a dumb one for me, where they were in space. It was funny. But it was just kind of just like, wow, we really have gotten to this point where these motherfuckers are breaking world history and they're in space. That one, I'm just trying to think of all the stuff Dom has done.
The one with the dam, obviously, is the one I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
and it's funny that a lot of the dumbest stuff involves Vin Diesel.
Oh, yeah. Most of the scenes I'm thinking of include Vin Diesel. The one where he jumps off the cliff and attaches himself to the bridge, his wheel. Remember, he attaches and then it ropes him over to the other side. That was dumb.
Vin with a no sell when he
Another
catches
one.
Letty in midair, going from one side of that highway to the other over that,
What?
like, dip,
Yeah.
and then he catches her, bro,
Yes.
lands on a car, and
Yes.
they flew so hard into that car, bro, but the camera gets on him. What's he do?
Yeah.
"Are you okay?" Like, no sell, bro, no sell.
Yeah. Was it the last movie or was it the one before that where they're like in the sewer and then like the whole thing collapses and then he
Oh,
doesn't
so
die or whatever?
that was
Yeah,
gonna be, the next
that
one
one
that
was one.
I really I'm not gonna lie, bro,
Yeah.
just like the damn one, that one pissed me off. Like, I legit like, that one where I looked at it and I thought, "It's hard being a Fast fan because 'cause I'm trying
Yeah.
to defend you so much, and you just do stupid
Yeah.
shit like this." He was getting jumped by, like, 10 guys, and
Yep.
he looked at Letty through the door. He grabbed the 2 chains that were attached to the ceiling, and with his Superman strength, pulled the ceiling down. All of them went all the way down to to this water that was at the very bottom. Motherfucker was drowning for at least 10 minutes, and Letty came to save him. But it's like, nah, bro, don't matter how long he
Yeah.
was underwater. He's going to survive.
Could you see a scenario where the Fast and the Furious franchise ends with Vin Diesel dying?
Yes.
Part of me
And it's
says
gonna be,
yes, and then
it's
part
gonna
of
be
me
some
thinks
ultimate
that Vin.
sacrifice.
Part of me says yes, and then part of me thinks Vin Diesel wouldn't let his character die. But at the same time, we've seen him cheat death so many times that it would make sense for the final one to be the one that gets him, right? Because I feel like every movie he has a scene where theoretically he would be dead. Good.
He fakes his death, bro. He
I could
fakes
see
his
that as
death.
well.
They all think he's dead. They put this beautiful funeral out for him, a big old memorial thing for those like in the street level that know, and the they're people in the government that knew that he worked for them. Like all these people that knew him, they're all there for the funeral. Letty's gonna be the only one that notices, bro, that there's a fucking Dodge or whatever just driving, and you hear the freaking music going, and she's just gonna
Yeah.
smile, and then like you're not gonna see him, but you're just gonna see that car, and she's gonna smile, and she's gonna give that like little like this
Yeah.
motherfucker, and then it's gonna turn off, and guess what, bro? Fast and Furious is over forever.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't think Vin Diesel would let his character die. That's what I'm saying. Like I just think Vin Diesel plays a big role in these sequences of Dominic Toretto doing these big ass things where he should die and he doesn't. He's a superhero at this point. He's a super. He's like, bro. He's fucking Captain America, bro. He's got the super soldier serum at this point because he's a fucking tank. So I think Vin Diesel plays a big role in that, and I don't know if he'd let his character die. To be honest with you.
Did you watch Hobbs and Shaw?
Yeah.
Okay. They introduced a little bit of
It
that like superhuman stuff in there.
Idris Elba. Idris Elba literally has superpowers. Like he is a
Yeah,
yes. Yep.
yeah. They try
The Rock.
to
The Rock even freaking bro. Like the shit he does with the helicopter and bro. Yes, that is fucking. That's what Captain America did.
yeah
That's what Captain fucking America. Or it's the chain, right?
yeah
Did you
yeah
watch
yeah
Hobbs and Shaw?
yeah.
The chain is like attached to the helicopter, right? And he's like holding it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's fucking pulling a Captain America
No, yeah.
from Civil War.
You know what's sad is that the biggest thing I remember from watching Hobbs and Shaw is I had to yell at these grown ass adults, bro, for fucking talking in the theater. Piss me off. I'm
Oh
trying to watch a
really?
movie. I'm not trying to hear you talk about your first date, bro. Get the fuck out of here if you want to do all that.
uh yeah, I mean that one was Super Soldier also, but yeah, who knows, man? Who knows? But shit, we're gonna be there to watch it, so
Oh yeah,
we can
most
say what we
definitely,
want,
bro.
but yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Bro, we are so invested into it. It's not even funny anymore.
Yeah, I mean, bro, when you think about it, each movie is 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours long.
Yep.
There's 10 movies. We've put
Yep.
in 20 hours of our lives into this shit. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a lot to commit to. So yeah, I mean, at this point, it's like, how could I not watch? How could I not continue the story?
We'll be there, like you said.
Mhm.
As far as news wise, like we mentioned, bro, it's been a very slow week. There's
Yeah,
not
it
much
has.
going on. So I had a question for you. It's a random question, but me and Marco a couple of days ago were at work and we were just discussing, Marvel stuff like we do. And this question got brought up, and I was like, you know what? It's perfect. I need to save it for the pod. So let's go back in time to Civil War, bro.
Ugh,
For Captain
love
America
that
Civil
time.
War. Oh, amazing. What got us talking about that is the Denzel in Black Panther, and then it made me reminisce on the first appearance of Black Panther in Civil War and how much I absolutely
Yeah,
loved that suit. Loved
so
everything about
badass. Yeah,
I loved everything about T'Challa in Civil War. I absolutely
yeah.
loved it.
I liked that suit Civil War better than the one that he
Oh,
had in the first Black Panther.
it 1000% agree with you. 1000% agree with you. I absolutely loved his Civil War suit.
Even though the Civil War suit was more bulky.
It was a lot more bulky, but you know what?
Yeah,
I didn't care. He looked amazing.
yeah.
But the question is, bro, if Thor and Hulk were in Civil War, whose side would they pick?
Thor would have picked Cap's side
Why?
because I don't think Thor would have wanted the whole government regulation.
Okay.
Um, and then I think Bruce would have wanted the government regulation just because he knows that he can cause damage. He knows like if he loses control, he can really wreck shit up. So that's why I kind of feel like Bruce would have been on uh Iron Man's side, Tony's side, and I think Thor would have been on Cap's side.
So I agree with you when it comes to the Thor thing, because who the hell is going to tell him what to do? I
Right.
mean,
That's the way I look
he's
at it.
the
Like
king of Asgard.
he looks like he should be able to come and go as he pleases. He should be able to do whatever the fuck he wants as he pleases.
The Hulk one is tricky to where I think to myself, I also agree, because he's going to want that order in place and everything like that, because, he knows what he can do and everything. But it's also the government that comes after him, and it's also the military that comes after him whenever he hulks out. They're the ones who have to go stop
Yeah.
him, and he hates them when that happens, because he's like, he's not telling them this, but he's almost just like, bro, like, you don't understand. Like, you gotta let me, like, I'm not
Yeah.
trying to hurt. I'm not trying to cause havoc. I'm trying to deal with this situation, and y'all are making it worse.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think he'll look at it in that way too? Or do you think,
I
nah?
think that he would be willing to put aside his differences with the government because, especially in the early days of the MCU, I feel like every time we saw Bruce Banner, he was just trying to not have an incident. He was just trying to not lose control. Um, and so I feel like now, let's say the government does, or let's say he's there. I don't know if the government could control him either way, right? Like who knows? But at the end of the day, it's up to him. And we see it now, like he has full control and he's a completely different person. But at that time, he didn't fully. I think he was still scared of himself. And so I think that he would have probably sided with Tony. I think Tony would have found a way to talk to him. They would have had their smart guy talks like they always do. I feel, and
Mhm.
I feel like Tony would have found a way to convince him. Um, Now I'm just trying to imagine fucking Hulk and Thor being in that fight scene at the
So I was gonna
airport.
say, how much, like,
They
whose
would they
side
would have wrecked
wins?
shit. They would have wrecked shit even more.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I guess does the side really win in Civil War? I guess Cap side wins just because they end up getting away and going where they want to go, and then Rhodey ends up in the ground, and then they stop
Yeah.
fighting. So I guess from that standpoint, I guess Cap side does win. I kind of feel like it's a stalemate though. Because Tony's side has a lot of moments at the beginning, and then Cap's side has a lot of moments towards the end.
Can you imagine though, Wanda and Thor going against them?
Yeah, well, in hindsight now, right? Like you think about Wanda now. I mean, hey, bro, Team Cap clears.
Yeah.
But Wanda at that time wasn't fully powerful yet. Yeah, it's insane. Me personally though, that's if I had to bet on it, that's what I would say. I would say the Hulk is Team Stark and Thor is Team Cap. Um, and that just would have made the fight even more fucking epic, dude. Can you
Insane.
imagine? It's
And
already
I
an
think,
epic scene, right? It's already an epic scene when you see the lineup of each team show up. But just
yeah.
imagine Thor being on one side and the Hulk being on one side. That would have been insane.
And I think it was perfect, the fact that Wanda wasn't the Scarlet Witch by then.
Right.
So she was not necessarily nerfed, but she definitely wasn't full powered. I feel like the most
Because if
powerful
she
one
is,
over there was Vision.
yeah. Mm, my annoying thing.
Yes,
I
but
agree
at the
with you.
same time,
My annoying thing
she
with
still whooped that boy's ass.
yeah. Well, because he holds back so much. And my
Yeah,
thing
because he
about
loves her.
Vision is right. Well, but my thing about Vision just in general is, especially in the early days, he has the power to just stop shit like that, but he
Yeah.
doesn't.
Mm.
Um, and so yeah, I mean, he's his moral compass, or he just loves Wanda, whatever. But um, yeah, that would have been fucking crazy, bro. That'd be fucking crazy. And then Wanda clears.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
I mean, bro, like, and if she doesn't clear, then just having Thor by her side, then they clear.
I think the other part of that conversation that came up was the fact that it's still insane to think about, bro. Captain and Bucky tag team Tony, because Tony was pissed that Bucky killed his mom, boy. They whooped this dude's
Yeah.
ass and left him high
Well,
and dry.
yeah. I think that's where people that side with Team Stark, um, I think that's where they ultimately side with Tony is the fact that, you know, anybody in that scenario, you find out they killed your parents, bro. You're finna be hot. You're finna be livid, bro. You're finna, and so and they look at Cap and they think Cap still sided with Bucky. And I think that's where they're like, that's where they side with Tony. For me, I always just thought like, bro, the government shouldn't have control like that. Like then we have the situation like the boys. Like I just think the government
Mhm.
would corrupt the superheroes, and they should be able to, yes, I'm sure they cause ruckus, but there would be even more fucking damage if they didn't show up. Like people
Yeah.
would die. So it's like I look at that and I agree with I agree with Steve. Like I just don't feel like the government that should tell them what to do and should control them like that. So that's why I've always sided with Steve. Yes, what happened at the end is fucked up. Tony still should have got his licks in because I would want to get my licks in. But at the same time, Cap looks at it as it's like, dude, my friend was brainwashed. Like, like it wasn't his fault. So I don't know. It's a theory or it's a story that you could argue about, I feel like, for forever. But either way, I'm still Team Cap.
Another thing I wanted to bring up, bro. I think it's been long enough. I think we need to, off subject, moving on to next. I think we need to bring back rewind reviews.
Yeah, I was thinking about the other day. My mom asked me,
I
because
have one in
I
mind.
told her I told her I watched Lord of the Rings 1,
Ah,
or I told somebody that.
you told Malik.
I don't remember. No, I was talking about it with somebody, and I was telling them I understand why they were good for the time. Maybe it was my mom. I understand why they were good for the time, but I just, it wasn't anything I haven't seen now. But yeah, I agree. We should bring it back. What's your suggestion?
The Matrix.
Yeah, it was between Lord of the Rings and The Matrix before, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm down.
I think we
There
should
was
get.
another movie I wanted to include. I'll think about it later. There was another movie I wanted to include too, but I'm down for The Matrix. We also need to finish Lord of the Rings because we started one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The reason why I want to suggest Matrix is because it's still on the radar, but I feel like it'd be easier to knock out one than to deal with two movies left with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Okay. So you're just saying the first Matrix. Like we don't need to watch the newest one that came out.
No,
How many are there? Is there 2?
3?
Oh, is there 3?
I think so.
Okay, so you just want to watch the OG one and then the
Yep.
second one?
Nope, just the first one.
Oh, just the first one. Okay.
Yep. The second one will be one of those things where it's like a preference. If you want to continue, go ahead. But I think the first one's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down. We can watch that. What, and review it next week?
Yes. Let me see where it's streaming. I'm pretty sure it's on Max. The Matrix 1999, bro.
Yeah. I'm gonna try 2025. I'm gonna try to make it a resolution to watch more movies.
We've done pretty good.
No, well, yes, we've done pretty good keeping up with the current movies. I just mean like just in general, like classic movies.
Well, damn. I don't have Hulu, but it's on Fubo TV, Hulu, Sling TV, Premium, or YouTube, and then
You
after
have
that,
Disney Plus
everything.
though. Hulu's on Disney Plus now. It's included.
Ah, you're right.
You'll have
Okay,
ads, but I mean,
that's fine. I mean, I don't
yeah,
end up
you'll have
pissing me off,
ads,
but
but
it's
I mean,
fine.
it's fine. So, um, yeah, sounds good. We'll watch it. We'll watch it, and then we'll review it next week, and then hopefully we'll watch Moana, and we'll have it reviewed also.
Yes, you get that. That one though, not trying to say it sucks because that's rude saying it like that, but I know Emily is going to watch it or going to want to watch it as well. So that's going to be something we all have to be able to get that one out of the way instead of saying, "Hey, bro, just me and you Tuesday, real quick, knock it out."
Well, I'm off next Friday, so we can go Friday, or me and Teresa will go, and then you and Emily can go too.
Yeah. What's next Friday?
The
The 6th.
6th. The 6th. Yep.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Cool. We'll figure it out. All right. Anything else?
No, Matrix review coming next week. Hopefully Moana 2 next week, and hopefully we have a good week coming up when it comes to pop culture news.
Sweet. All right. Catch you guys later.
All right, later.